What's up, everybody? No Kaser back here for another episode of No Kaser Live. Let's get right into it. We're going to start off with our first topic, and that is going to be Terrifier 3 is going to top Joker 2 at the box office in a shocker. This is Terrifier 3 opening weekend, and what is really shocking is that Joker opened to less than $45 million. Not even that. It made less than $40 million at $37 million opening weekend. So Terrifier 3 to slash Joker Fallujah at the weekend box office with $11 million plus opening. What's really intriguing about this is who in the hell saw this coming? Terrifier 3 is looking at $11 million, while Joker is slated to take at least a 60 to 70% drop. Why is this a big deal? Well, the second Terrifier film did not do all that hot at the box office in the first place. It did about $2.5 million, roughly. But opening this weekend also is piece by piece, looking to be a box office bomb at only 1,851 theaters with $3 to $5 million, and the movie costing them $16 million before all of the ads and the processing and stuff like that. So why is this important? Why is this important? Well, it's important because this is what indie horror is doing. With Joker out of the top spot, this proves that there is a new juggernaut in the horror sphere, and as a David versus Goliath sphere here. We have Terrifier and Joker, two clowns at 1 and 2. One's gorier, one is a little bit more deranged. Well, they're both deranged, but they're deranged in a separate way. So with Terrifier opening at $11 million, what does that mean for the overall just love and what's what I'm trying to say here? Love and demand for our Art the Clown? Well, taking a look at what happened with Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 was made for about $250,000. That's less than what the first one was made for. So with this doing it, what's really exciting, we have something to look forward to. Do we have a new horror icon with Art the Clown? We'll have to see. But with Terrifier 2, here's what it did opening week, as a whole. It made $15 million with $3 million, almost $4 million in Blu-ray and DVD sales. So roughly earning about $20 million on a $250,000 budget, I believe. This movie was made for about $5 million. So with this, it's almost doubling and ensuring that all of the publicity that's been going into Terrifier 3 is going to be well worth it. Are you going to be seeing Terrifier 3? My theater is not playing it. Are you excited for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Next up, we're going to go into the comments because I do have 2 comments here. And we have Sav. It's nice to have you here, Sav. I got a little bit of a surprise for you. What did you miss? You missed nothing so far. The show just started. I showed up a little bit late. I had to just wait a little bit to start the show, but you almost missed nothing. All we did was talk about the Terrifier, and that's it. Next up, we're going to go into some more box office, but this is exciting for a different reason, and that is going to be Wicked is breaking pre-sale records. This has not been seen since Deadpool and Wolverine, which is not saying a whole lot because that's the second biggest movie of the entire year. What does that say for this, though? Well, Wicked, everyone's been saying that Wicked isn't going to do all that well. I've heard these trailers don't look interesting. It's a Broadway made into a movie. We've seen how that goes. Well, the last one that did that I can think of is actually In the Heights. The issue with that one was that one had a lot of issues going on with it. Mainly it being that it was going straight to Max. It was going to Max, and that's what you don't want to see. You do not want to see that, because if it goes to Max, you make no money. You make no money whatsoever. So, the first day pre-sales, number 2 year-to-date for Fandango behind Deadpool and Wolverine. So the great news is it is opening. It's opening on November 22nd, and a couple days later, we have a big juggernaut with Moana. So, we're going to take a look at this. This one is coming from Deadline. Great news about its November 22nd opening. The Universal take on the musical, stage musical, has posted the first day advance ticket sales on Fandango, which rank as the retail's second biggest to date for this year, behind Deadpool Wolverine. As you know, the theatrical release of Deadpool Wolverine, the first day was $96.1 million and a 3-day total of $211 million. Since Universal moved Wicked off the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, away from Moana 2 and onto the day with Paramount's sequel to Gladiator, there's been hope by all of the experts and in the exposition by the industry that there might be another Barbenheimer effect that may hand itself to a successful box office for both films. We will note that it happens. Tickets for Gladiator 2 went on sale on October 8th. So they're not opening all that well. They're not going to have that big of an opening. I think what this means is that we're going to see Wicked open to, I'm going to be generous here, $75-80 million with a budget of close to $200 million, I think, adding in all of the marketing costs and the theater cuts, or about $200, maybe $225 million, if I have that right. This opening at $70-80 million, that's not bad. But that's just before hardly any of the marketing has kicked in. They haven't done the big push yet. We got a lot more to go. We have about a month and a half to get going with this successful marketing plan. Look what happened with something like Piece by Piece. That thing I've seen nothing for. I have seen nothing. I haven't seen it on a YouTube ad, a Hulu ad, a Facebook, Instagram, nothing. Nothing for Piece by Piece. I've just heard chatters about it in little groups. That's why it's doing $3-5 million. This, however, this has the Broadway presence. It has 2 successful stars in Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. It's a Broadway musical, so you're bringing in those fans. It's a family-friendly musical and is a companion piece, a prequel to the Wizard of Oz. So, all that involved, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. This movie's going to make money. It's not going to be a $1 billion film, I don't think, because very few films make $1 billion. But I think this has the chance to make $700-800 million, because if you look at what Barbie and Oppenheimer did, nobody suspected Barbie and Oppenheimer to do $1 billion, $1.3 billion and almost $1 billion. No one expected that. Nobody on this planet expected that. Not even Margot Robbie, I don't think. This is a different story. Ridley Scott is an esteemed filmmaker with this. Wicked, you got 2 fantastic singers. This is going to be a massive hit. So, for everyone saying that Wicked is not going to do any money at the box office, they're proving you wrong right now with the ticket sales. It is the ticket per date record since Deadpool Wolverine. I don't think Inside Out 2 did this. Dune didn't do this. Wicked is a special film, and it's going to be up for a lot of nominations, I think, especially for costume design, production design at least. Maybe original song if they have a original song in it. But what do you think about Wicked? Are you excited about it? I know I am. I know I'm going to hopefully see it opening weekend depending on what my theater gets. I'm good with either Wicked or Gladiator 2. Really cross my fingers for Wicked. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We're going to go into the comments one more time, and Michael says, hey, Noah, what's up? What's up, Michael? Looking forward to SmackDown? Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to SmackDown. We got Roman Reigns coming back with what happened at Bad Blood. We'll see what he does. He posted a little tease on Twitter saying, tonight we will acknowledge him. We'll see what that means. Sav says, Wicked is not my cup of tea. See, it's not for everybody. And in your next comment, I'm not a fan of musicals. Okay, that's okay. Again, Wicked is not going to appeal to everybody. You have the Gladiator 2. So what I think is also going to happen, you can see this. You can see the brothers and the fathers going to see Gladiator 2, and the kids, the little kids, the young kids, and the moms and the daughters and the grandmas going to see Wicked. So you all can go to the movies. You just see 2 separate films, and you're not very far off in runtime. I saw Wicked was about 2 hours and 40 minutes, according to the Cinemark website, and Gladiator 2 is about 2.5 hours. I think about 2:20, 2:25. So you'll get out about the same time. Roughly wait about 15 minutes. But at least you got the Gladiator film, and you have Moana the next week. So will Moana hurt the Wicked box office? I don't think so. It's a completely different weekend, but we'll see what happens. Michael also says, I'm looking forward to Wicked. Yes, I'm looking forward to Wicked as well. We got one more topic, and then we're going to go into our regular topics. Actually, two more topics. And that is going to be Freakier Friday and Lilo and Stitch get 2025 release dates. Now, I grew up with both of the original films. I grew up with the Lilo and Stitch TV show. I grew up with that TV show on the Disney Channel. I grew up with the first Freaky Friday, and I even tried to watch, the remake, the original remake of the 60s classic. This one, I think, has promise. They got release dates, and they're both going to theaters. Not going to Disney Plus. Fantastic news. Freakier Friday and Lilo and Stitch have set 2025 release dates for the summer. Now, is this going to hurt the other films in the box office? We will just have to see. But with this is very exciting, because we'll see what the Disney remake wagon has coming down the pipeline, right? Because with this, we'll see if it helps the box office. Do we want more of Lindsay Lohan? Are we ready to accept her? Are we ready to see a sequel to older Disney films? We'll see what this does in response to the new announcement of The Princess Diaries 3. I think that's very, very intriguing. I think that is going to help the potential at getting it moved a little bit more forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens overall. But this movie is going to be big, I think. It's going to be big. The cast looks great, but this is what they have to say. Once it stops moving, that would be amazing. Here we go. So, this is coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter, and The Hollywood Reporter is reporting this. Freakier Friday is going to be opening on August 8th, 2025, and Warner Brothers has already have a movie on that date with Leonardo DiCaprio starring in it, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. That's going to be a massive film, I think. It's going to be an Oscar contender. I don't know what happened to that page. Where did you go? I don't know where it went. But Lilo and Stitch is going to be opening as well. And that is going to be opening on May 23rd, 2025, which pits it against Mission Impossible 8. That's going to be a bit of a red flag there, because if you take a look at what we've gotten with some of those films, right? The last one didn't do all that hot. The last one did not do all that hot. I hate to tell you, it made money. The budget was too damn high, though. It was too damn high for the movie. Does that mean that Lilo and Stitch is going to bomb? Probably not. Two completely separate audience demographics. You got kids and families with that, and you got grown men and adults going to see this. However, adults love Stitch. Have you seen the Disney adults? I'm a Disney adult. Literally, I'm wearing a Mickey Mouse Halloween shirt right now. I'm a Disney adult. I love Stitch. I want to go and see both. Which one am I excited for more? Probably Mission Impossible 8, if I'm being completely honest with you, because Lilo and Stitch was not one of my favorite films growing up. It was not one of my favorite films. I've seen it multiple times. But it's short. It's comfort food. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. I am looking forward to both of them. I don't think that either film is going to be awful or bomb, because sequels, Disney movies, we've seen that happen before. But with this type of response that the Princess Diaries got and the excitement that Freakier Friday got, I don't think that either of these films are going to be bombing. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Going into the comments, Michael says, Wicked over Gladiator 2. Okay, cool. He also says, I don't care about them. I seen a little bit of Freaky Friday, but not the whole thing. I highly recommend you check out the remake from 2003 with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, because it is a childhood classic to many people. You're about my age. I think you would absolutely enjoy it. Sav says, I'm looking forward to seeing both. So am I. I'm looking forward to seeing both. Freakier Friday, I see bombing. I don't see it bombing. I really don't see it bombing. And do you want to know why? Because if you take a look at what happened with multiple films that they said was going to be bombing, look what happened with Elemental. Okay? Look what happened with something like The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid, it had a bit of a slow climb. Yes, it did. It had a very slow climb, but people kept on going to see it. That was the major plus, right? That was the major plus. And also taking a look at what comes out around that time frame, we have Freakier Friday and the Battle of Bodka Cross. But take a look at this. I'm going to show you what's coming out in the weeks ahead according to, is this Movie Insider? I believe that's Movie Insider. We're going to take a look at this really, really quickly because this is telling me it's not going to bomb. But then again, it depends on the marketing. If the marketing looks like garbage, then you can just throw everything I say right out the window because it's all marketing. You don't need to tell us what the movie's about because everybody knows it. But looking at July 18th, we have Smurfs the Musical. That's an animated film. I think that'll do pretty well in the family market. We have a horror film, a remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Fantastic Four, The First Steps. Marvel film. It's going to burn out a little bit. It's going to be earning a lot of money in its first opening weekend. But the second weekend and the third weekend, it's going to be taking 60 to 70% drops. If it's a good movie, maybe 55 to 60. If it's a mid movie, 60 to 70% drop. The week before that, we have the Naked Gun remake with, I almost said Leslie Nielsen. He'll probably make an appearance. But the Naked Gun remake with Liam Neeson, that's not going to do all that hot at the box office. It's a cult classic, but I don't know how many people actually want a remake of that right now. The Bad Guys 2 did not make an ass ton of money. It made enough money to become a cult hit. It has a Netflix Halloween special that just came out today. I see it being a mild hit, but that's not going to be massive news. And Beneath the Storm, I'm going to be honest with you, off the top of my head, I have to look this one up. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't think this is going to be a massive hit either. I don't see that being a massive hit. But it's all marketing. Freakier Friday, we've seen stranger things happen. We've seen stranger things happen, but I don't think that Freakier Friday is going to be bombing because Nobody 2 is not going to be a massive film. It's going to make money. It has its audience. Freakier Friday is probably the biggest film of that entire month because we do have Insidious, but even that is not going to make the money. You have the nostalgia. You have Chad Michael Murray. You have the newly won Oscar winner in Jamie Lee Curtis. You have all of that. I don't see it bombing because it's all marketing, but it's also the release calendar. If it bombs, it's because the movie looks bad, not because nobody's interested, because the internet blew up. I think that is very optimistic, but we'll see if it happens. You could be right. I could be right, but either way, we won't know until the film is about to come out. I'm looking forward to both moving, but look forward. Oh, I read that wrong. You're looking forward to both movies, but looking forward to Lilo and Stitch more. I'm looking forward to both of them. I think it's going to be a great film. We will see. I think Stitch looks great as long as they handle the story right and the CGI does not look off with the other aliens and the other characters. Sav says, I've not seen the live-action Little Mermaid. I think that's a good film. It's very underrated. It's one of the lesser-liked films because, one, a lot of people didn't like that they made her black. Guess what? She's a mermaid. Mermaids aren't real. Hate to tell you. If you watch the series, if you looked on the internet, people were posting, hey, look, there's a black mermaid in this film. People didn't like that it was longer, that it changed some lyrics. Didn't change the storylines all that much. It gave Prince Eric more to do. It gave you better versions of the songs, I think. Sorry. I think that Halle Bailey has a phenomenal voice. She's going to be a massive star. Whether it's on Broadway or on screen, I'm hoping screen because I love that girl to death. She delivered a phenomenally well-done Hollywoodizing performance, just like with Rachel Zegler in West Side Story. That's going to be very intriguing. So, July 18th, great month, great day and month. I'm guessing that's your birthday. I'm going to guess that's your birthday. Yeah. Huh. If it is, happy belated birthday. And the last comment for this segment we're going to go into after this, What's up, Noah? What's up, Lou? Great to see you. Great to have you here on the stream. And Sav says, yeah, happy belated birthday. I'll catch you on it next year. I'll put that down in my calendar. But the last topic for this one is going to be a bit of a long-winded one, because this one is going to get messy. It's going to get messy very, very quickly. But it's going to have to get messy if we want to see it happening. So what we're going to be talking about is the brand new Emerald Fennell film that is supposed to be in a bidding war with Netflix. So the Emerald Fennell, who is the Saltburn director, and Margot Robbie are going to apparently turn down a Netflix offer for their next movie. So Netflix spends a lot of money on movies, but they acquire a lot of films as well. So what they are prepared to do is this. This is coming from Screen Rant. Netflix is trying to buy the Saltburn director Emerald Fennell's next movie, an adaptation of Wuthering Heights, but she and Margot Robbie might reportedly pass on the $150 million deal. Fennell burst onto the scene in a phenomenal fashion with her directorial debut, which should have won the Picture of the Year, not Nomadland, with Promising Young Woman, for which she won an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, and followed that up in 2023 with Saltburn, one of the most talked about movies of the year. Now, it looks like her next film is planned to be an adaptation of Wuthering Heights, starring Margot Robbie and Saltburn's Jacob Elordi, who's making quite a name for himself. So, this is according to Pucks. What I'm hearing newsletter. Netflix's new deal, new film head Dan Lin has offered over $150 million for Emerald Fennell's adaptation of Wuthering Heights, which is more than other contenders. MRC, who's financing the film, is eager to accept the offer. However, Fennell and Robbie, who are producing, want a theatrical release and might pass on that deal since Netflix remains in its no theater stance. It remains firm on it. So, at the Screen Time conference, Netflix chief content officer, they reiterated their stance, saying that theatrical is not our model. We're just a different business. You are a different business. But here's the thing. Have you seen the Netflix top 10? Have you seen the Netflix top 10 over the past bit, right? You're really good at series. You're very good at series. You put out a crap ton of series. You make a lot of good series. People subscribe to your network for your series. And most of your movies are meh to good. But a few of them have been awful, like Uglies. That was bad. That should have gone to theaters. You would have made money off of it. It would have been an awful film to see in theaters, but you would have made money off of it. This film, I think you do it. Emerald Fennell, becoming an acclaimed director. She's known now because of Saltburn. One of the most talked about films of last year, whether it is warranted or unwarranted. I think it's warranted. That had some very intriguing themes in it, some very intriguing scenes. It went a little bit far. I liked that. Margot Robbie, one of the biggest stars in the world right now, just had the highest grossing film of last year with Barbie. Jacob Elordi, he's becoming a big name. The Netflix people know him from the Kissing Booth films. You saw him in Saltburn. If you've seen him as Elvis and Priscilla, he was phenomenal in that as well. He's becoming a good little actor. I haven't seen him in Euphoria yet, except for like a little clip here and there. He's phenomenal. Why don't you want to put this in theaters? Well, Netflix's stance is this. They want numbers. They don't care about money, right? In that way. They don't care about money. What they care about is how many people are subscribing to their service because of something. Well, I'll show you when we take a look at the Netflix top 10 what went to theaters and what's happening. Because if you take a look at what's happening with something like Deadpool and Wolverine, people saw it in theaters $1.2 billion. Mario Bros. Was a massive hit. That was on your top 10 for countless weeks. Countless weeks. I can't tell you how many times I was doing this show. The Super Mario Bros. Movie was on the Netflix top 10 in movies. That is insane because it went to theaters. You got an audience built in. The kids wanted to see it again. If they bought that and put that right on Netflix, it would have been forgotten about. It would have been thrown to the wayside. I guarantee you. Because Japan gave it a lot of box office. We gave it a lot of box office. The UK gave it a lot of box office. Everywhere loved the Super Mario Bros. Movie because of nostalgia. This is what you should do. What you should be doing is what Amazon's doing. At least put 15, 16, maybe 20-year films in theaters. You tried that with Knives Out, with Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. You put it in there for one weekend, and it made a crap ton of money. It made a lot of money. Nobody was going to be as excited about it until they say, oh, wait, it's going to theaters. It's actually a legit movie now, instead of, oh, it's just on Netflix, or I'll watch it on Netflix later. You put this movie in theaters because you recoup your investment. This movie easily makes at least $60 million bucks. If anything, you're not going to earn that on Netflix. I don't care if you have the ad-free plan or not. That doesn't make your movie profitable. What makes your movie profitable is that people are, yes, subscribing to your service, but if you're making a return on investment in theaters. Elemental cost a pretty penny. That thing was not making a whole lot of money. $8 million. Then $8 million. $8 million. It kept going because people kept seeing it. It got a fan base. Good word of mouth. If this film's good, and I'm sure it will be, with the cast and the writer and director and with this film, this movie's going to be great. You put it in theaters. You should have done that with Red Notice, with Rebel Moon, well, you did with Army of the Dead for like a weekend or two. You do that with some of your big movies. That's what you do. These big budget films that you spend over $100 million on, you put them in theaters. Damsel would have done fine in theaters. You put it in theaters. If not, yeah, it's going to go on Netflix. It'll be number one for a little bit. People are going to forget about it. Sorry, you might get some Oscar buzz. Doesn't mean that people are going to remember your film on Netflix within 3 weeks. Just being completely honest with you, it might sound like I'm being an asshole, but you know what? You're being assholes by not making your company money and putting them in theaters. That's why you were in the negative profit margin for so many years, because you rejected the idea of going to theaters. But, bit of a long-winded topic, but I think it's necessary, because Netflix needs to change their route if they want to make money and continue to be a profitable business. With your series, that's not going to get you a whole lot of places. Your DVD service was where you started out. You started out in physical media. You pulled away the physical media. You weren't going to put anything in theaters. People begged you. Knives Out made a pretty penny. I think you do the same thing with the third Knives Out film next year. You make it a full theatrical release, and then you put it on Netflix during Thanksgiving weekend, like you did with the Glass Onion movie. You made money. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. Go into the comments before we go into Release Rewind. My birthday is Tuesday. Happy birthday to you, Michael. Happy birthday to you. Sav says happy birthday to you. Jared says, hello there, Noah. Hello, Jared. Damsel was a good movie. I like Damsel. That was fun. I think it got a bad rap. I didn't love the movie, but I thought it was fun. Michael asked me, have you seen the film Stardust? Watched it today, an underrated gem of a film. I haven't seen Stardust. I've been told multiple times that I need to watch it, though, because it's such a great film, underrated, kind of like a different version of Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to seeing that at some point. So next up, we're going to go into our regular topics every single week, except for Ticket Tracker. I'm not going to do the Ticket Tracker anymore on Fridays. I'm only doing those on Tuesdays because that's when the box office fully comes out and I don't have to adjust the numbers every so often. But we're going to go into this up next, and that's going to be Release Rewind. So Release Rewind, as you guys know, is the segment every single week where I go into what came out 5, 15, 25, 35, 45 years ago. Tuesdays I do 10, 20, 30, 40. So we're going to go into this. We're going to take a look at what came out in 2009, 1999, 2019, and 1989. So let's go into 2019 first. 2019, we had The Addams Family earning $200 million worldwide. It was enough to make a sequel. Didn't make as big of a splash, but I actually saw this in theaters. I saw The Addams Family in theaters all by myself. It was the final day. It was at my theater. I walked in. I was expecting maybe a couple people because it was a Thursday, about 3:45, maybe a Monday at 3:45. I saw it. I enjoyed it. It's a good, charming little movie. Only 86 minutes. Definitely check it out if you're a fan of like family horror-esque movies, definitely has the Addams Family feel. Gemini Man, a box office bomb with the budget it had, only makes $166.5 million, damn near 166.6 million. Box office bomb because I believe that film had about $100 million plus budget, maybe 150. The marketing didn't look any good, and I heard the movie wasn't any good, so I didn't go and see it either. What I did go and see was Jexy. This film bombed. It was a R-rated raunchy comedy starring Adam Devine. It was my friend and I. We wanted to go and see something. This movie looked funny, and I really enjoyed Jexy. It's only 84 minutes long. R-rated raunchy comedy, right at my alley. One of my favorite genres. Only making $10.6 million. So a box office bomb. I want more of Adam Devine, please. 2009, October 9, 2009, we had a film called Couples Retreat, which I've seen. Love that movie. It's very charming. It is PG-13 to the core. It's almost R. It pushes that bar of being R, and I love Couples Retreat. Might watch that one before we go into the Halloween and Thanksgiving, Christmas types of films one more time this year. 1999, Random Hearts with Harrison Ford made $63.2 million. Superstar with Molly Shannon and Will Ferrell, which I have seen that film. I enjoy it for a dumb comedy. It's not great, but it's definitely one I can see myself rewatching down the line. Only like 80-something minutes long. Not that bad. It definitely has a cult status, and I really enjoy that about that film, earning $30.6 million. And then 1989, to finish off Release Rewind, we have Halloween 5, The Return of Michael Myers. The Revenge of Michael Myers, earning $11.6 million worldwide. Not making a whole ton of money, but Look Who's Talking really made a whole lot of money, enough to get a sequel that a lot of people hate, making $297.1 million. And finally, on October 13th, 1989, we have the Fabulous Baker Boys earning $18.1 million. And on Tuesday, we will go into what came out 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. And until next time, let me know what you think about Release Rewind. Does it make you feel old? Do you remember when those films came out? I was born in 98, so I wasn't around for Halloween 5 or Look Who's Talking or the Fabulous Boys. I wasn't around for them. But what do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Going into the comments again, we have, are you going to see Saturday Night? My theater's not getting it. My theater is going to be keeping The Wild Robot and Joker this week, and the next week they're getting Smile 2. So if I get a request, I could go and see Smile 2. I want to see The Wild Robot and I want to see Joker. We'll just see what happens. I want to see both of them. I've heard The Wild Robot is great. I've heard that Joker is mad, but I've heard I'm going to love it. So we'll see what happens. Stardust is more in the vein of Princess Bride, not Star Wars. Okay, that's really good to know. I think they this is a very good point. I think they should release in theaters for a couple months, then put it on Netflix after that. Maybe over a year and put on physical media. Yes. That's my opinion. I completely agree. Sav says, thanks for making me feel old. You're welcome. I told you on Tuesday I'd make you feel old, and I was genuinely serious. I'm always serious. Ha ha ha. Sav says, you're only 26. I turned 26 exactly 2 months from today on December 11th. So we'll see if I do a show, depending on what day that is. I might do a show the night before. I'm not sure. And the final comment for this before we go into the Netflix top 10 is Joker 2, I heard is awful. I've heard it's awful as well. But a buddy of ours did enjoy it. I've heard some interesting things. Some people love it. Some people hate it. We'll just have to see what happens because each film hits people differently. And if it hits me the right way, that is awesome. I hope I love it just like I loved the first one. But we will see. And for our final two topics, we're going to go into the fun topic of course, the Netflix top 10. And the Netflix top 10 looks like this. The movies have not changed a whole lot, I don't think, but we're going to surprise ourselves, I think. So the Netflix top 10 looks like this. Number 1 is Bad Boys, Ride or Die. Saw that in theaters, just bought the 4-film collection on Blu-ray. Love that movie. Number 2 is the Menendez Brothers. Number 3, Sing. Number 4, Trouble. Number 5, The Platform 2. Number 6, The Garfield Movie. Number 7, Two Guns. Number 8, It's What's Inside. Number 9, Over the Hedge. And number 10, Kung Fu Panda. So have you noticed what's happening here? Let's do some counting here, okay? Let's have our own version of Sesame Street here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 films in the Netflix top 10 are up there in the Netflix top 10, right? 4 Netflix originals. Bad Boys Ride or Die made a crap ton of money in theaters. Number 1, Sing, family-friendly hit. Number 3, Garfield Movie was number 1. It's been on Netflix for a while, so of course it's going to keep going down. Two Guns, very easy to watch film. I still haven't seen it yet, and Sav, I have not forgot about it. I'm going to be watching those and reviewing Sing and Two Guns very, very soon. It's What's Inside. It's becoming a modest little hit on Netflix. I didn't care for it myself, but fine. It's always the family-friendly films that you gotta watch out for in the Netflix top 10, because Over the Hedge, a lot of people don't remember that film until they go, oh wait, it's on Netflix? I can show my kids this. Or I'm babysitting, I have a little brother or a little sister that I have to take care of. This looks fun. Boom. Kung Fu Panda, we're on the 4th film, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the Netflix top 10 movies next week, because we got some interesting ones coming out. And in the Netflix top 10 TV shows, we are going to be looking at this. So, of course, we knew this was going to be number 1. Outer Banks, the new season of Outer Banks is number 1. Not a surprise, Outer Banks is a massive teen show. Fantastic hit for them. The 7th season of Love is Blind. Number 3, Nobody Wants This. Just came out a couple weeks ago. Already got renewed for season 2. Not a surprise. Number 4, Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story. Number 5, a comedy special. That is Ali Wong, Single Lady. Number 6, oh wow, I'm not even going to try and say this. Is that Dan Da Dan? Dan Da Dan. Number 7 is Deceitful Love. 8, Starting 5. 9, Tomb Raider. That is The Legend of Lara Croft. I didn't want to say The Return and get it wrong, but The Legend of Lara Croft. Number 10, Unsolved Mysteries. So, there's the Netflix top 10. Are you looking forward to seeing what comes out? Well, we're going to go into that next. But let me know what you think about the Netflix top 10, and let me know your thoughts. Going into the comments one more time. When did you say your birthday is? December 11th. December 11th. So I'm looking forward to that. Turning 26. Might do a birthday stream that week sometime. Probably just a regular show, but we'll just see. And finally, for this episode, before we end it off, we're going to go into what's releasing this week in theaters and on streaming. So this is coming to us from releases.com, as they do every week. We have quite a few things coming out, but that doesn't mean I'm going to review everything. So let's take a look at what's releasing from releases.com. Going to the movies section here, we, of course, have Terrifier 3. Like I said, my theater did not get it. On VOD, we do have Never Let Go, which came out today, along with Uprising on Netflix. Limited Cinemas got Brothers. Depravity is a brand new horror film in limited cinemas and on VOD. And in theaters, we also have Saturday Night and The Apprentice. On Netflix, we have a new romance drama called Lonely Planet. I do want to see that one, and it's a romance film right up my alley. But Mr. Crockett is a brand new horror film on Hulu that I am interested in seeing if the reviews are looking good. We'll just have to see. We will have to see. And as the site crashes, we'll just pull it up one more time. Next week, we have a lot coming out, though. We have a ton coming out next week. So, going down here just a little bit more, we do have, going down here, wow, there was a lot of little films coming out. So, next week, we have Smile 2 coming out in theaters. I have not seen the first one. The second one looks pretty good. I do have a screener for Woman of the Hour, so I will be watching that and reviewing that next week. Anora comes out in theaters. That is looking like a Best Picture contender, maybe the Best Picture winner of this year. Brothers is a film coming to VOD and I believe Amazon Prime the 17th or 18th. I think it looks great. Looks like a fun cast. Peter Dinklage, Brendan Fraser, and I don't want to get his name wrong. And Josh Brolin. Look forward to seeing that action comedy. Next week, we also have We Live in Time, the brand new romantic drama with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, apparently giving fantastic performances. What else is new? They are two of the best in the business. But that is everything coming out in the next couple of weeks. And of course, we cannot forget about what's coming next week. So on Tuesday's show, I do have a plan. I got a plan to have some guests on, and we'll be talking about the Evil Dead franchise. Ranking all 5 films. So Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of the Dead, Evil Dead 2013, and Evil Dead Rise from last year. So we will also have reviews, or I will have reviews for the brand new Hallmark films, Curious Caterer, Forbidden Fruit, as well as Haunted Wedding, and the brand new Great American Family Christmas film, which is, Christmas Wishes. I have to look it up. It is, it is Christmas Wreaths and Ribbons. So that comes out tomorrow. And as always, guys, stay tuned because I got a lot coming your way. We'll have more news, Ticket Tracker, Release Rewind, the Netflix Top 10, and a lot more. But before we go, I want to go into the comments one more time. Sav says, I will remember December 11th. Yes. I have so many movies and TV shows to catch up on. Yes, you do, good sir. But so many movies, so little time. There's going to be some you're going to have to miss. And he says, yippee for the Evil Dead review. Yes, I'll have me and hopefully some guests coming on to talk about all 5 of them in the franchise. And I might do a separate show on Monday or Wednesday, depending on time frame, to review the Hallmark films and the Christmas film and the other films, because I want to talk about just that and maybe a couple other things. But as always, guys, like and subscribe if you're new. And let me know what you want to see. If you have any review requests, leave them in the comments down below. And as always, guys, I will see all of you guys next time.
So where did you go when the fire is low?